Rain hammered the dusty Texas road as Charlotte Whitlock ran barefoot, her wedding gown soaked and torn, pearls scattering behind her like broken memories. Her lungs burned, her heart pounded, and yet she kept running. Away from the church bells, away from the man waiting at the altar, away from the life that never felt like hers. Lightning split the sky as she stumbled into the open fields. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew she couldn't stay. She had spent years being told what dresses to wear, what music to enjoy, what men were appropriate to like. Her father had chosen her fiancé, a wealthy landowner twice her age who smiled like a fox cornering prey. She had agreed only because good daughters don't refuse. But today, standing in that heavy white dress, something inside her snapped. The moment the organ began to play, she turned and ran. Her breath came in sharp bursts as she reached the old dirt road that led away from town. She looked behind her. No one yet. But they would come. Her father's men always did. Thunder cracked. Her legs trembled. Just when she thought she might collapse, she saw a faint glow in the distance, a lantern swinging on the porch of a lonely ranch house. A warm voice called out from the shadows. "You lost, ma'am." Charlotte froze. A tall man stepped onto the porch, his broad shoulders outlined in the storm's flickering light. His hat dripped rainwater, and his flannel shirt clung to a muscular frame shaped by long days of ranch work. His brown eyes were steady, warm, and oddly calming. I didn't mean to intrude," Charlotte whispered. "I just needed somewhere to rest." He lifted his lantern and saw the torn wedding gown. His jaw tightened. "You runnin' from somethin'?" he asked softly. She swallowed. "Yes." The cowboy nodded once. "Name's Wyatt Hayes. This here's my ranch. You're welcome to step inside till the storm dies." Charlotte hesitated, but one look at Wyatt's face told her he meant no harm. Inside, the cabin was simple but cozy. Warm fire, leather sofa, blankets that smelled faintly of cedar. He offered her dry clothes, his flannel shirt and soft cotton pants. She changed behind a folded curtain, her fingers trembling as the wedding dress slid to the floor like a ghost she was finally shedding. Wyatt looked away respectfully the whole time. When she stepped out, he offered her a cup of hot coffee and quietly asked, "Now, you want to tell me why a bride's out here runnin' through a thunderstorm?" Charlotte wrapped her hands around the warm mug, tears finally spilling as she whispered the truth about her father, the forced marriage, the man waiting at the altar, and the suffocating world she'd been trapped in. Wyatt listened without interrupting, his expression darkening with each word. When she finished, he said one thing, firm and low. "You ain't goin' back. Not tonight. Not ever, if you don't want to." Charlotte looked up sharply. "But you don't even know me." He met her gaze steadily. "Don't need to. A woman who runs barefoot through a storm just to escape a cage deserves protection. And I'm off airin' mine." Her heart thudded. No man had ever spoken to her like that. Not with possession, but with genuine care. Thunder roared outside. Inside, Charlotte felt a safety she'd never known. And for the first time that night, she allowed herself to hope. Charlotte stayed at the ranch for days, then a week. She helped Wyatt feed the horses, learned to cook simple ranch meals, and sat on the porch each morning watching the sunrise spill across the fields. It was the closest she'd ever felt to freedom. Wyatt never pushed, never questioned when she needed silence. Their connection grew quietly, like two souls recognizing each other in gentle moments. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the world in gold, Charlotte approached Wyatt where he stood fixing a fence. "You've done so much for me," she said softly. "I don't know how to repay you." Wyatt wiped sweat from his brow. "Don't need repayment. Just want you safe." "But you're risking everything," she argued. "My father is powerful. If he finds out I'm here." "He won't." Wyatt straightened, his tone turning firm. "And even if he did, he'd have to go through me." Charlotte's chest tightened at his words. She didn't want anyone hurt because of her. Yet she couldn't deny the warmth she felt every time he stood up for her. That night, they ate dinner on the porch, lightning bugs dancing around them. Charlotte found herself staring at him. His strong hands, his rugged jawline, the quiet strength in everything he did. "Wyatt," she whispered, "why are you helping me?" He paused mid-bite, then slowly set his fork down. "Because I know what it feels like to be trapped," he said in a low voice. "After my parents passed, my uncle wanted to sell this ranch, send me off to work in the city. Said ranchin' was a fool's life. But this land, it's all I had left of them. So I fought for it." Charlotte leaned forward. "You understand." He nodded. "More than you know." A gentle silence settled between them, full of unspoken things. She felt drawn to him, like his quiet strength wrapped around her in invisible arms. Days turned into nights, and the tension between them grew thicker. Soft glances, fingers brushing during chores, the silent longing when they stood too close. One afternoon, Charlotte noticed Wyatt saddling his horse with unusual intensity. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Riders headed this way," he said. "Two men. Look like they're sea urchin." Her heart dropped. "My father's men?" "Could be." Fear shot through her chest. Wyatt saw it and stepped close, placing a gentle hand on her cheek. "I promised I'd protect you. I meant it." Charlotte's breath trembled. "Why do you care so much, Wyatt?" He hesitated, then took her hand in his. "Because somewhere along the way, protectin' you became more than a duty. It became personal." Her heart fluttered wildly, but fear drowned her words. Wyatt positioned her behind him as the riders approached. They circled the ranch, questioned him, tried to force their way inside. Wyatt stood firm, his voice steady but dangerous. "Ain't no runaway bride here," he lied without blinking. "Now get off my land." After a tense standoff, the men finally rode away. Charlotte collapsed against him, shaken. Wyatt wrapped his arms around her. "You're safe," he murmured. She pulled back slightly, eyes glistening. "What if they return? What if my father forces me back?" Wyatt cupped her face gently. "Then we stand together. I ain't lettin' you go." Charlotte felt her defenses crumble. The walls she had built her whole life fell away. And beneath the soft glow of the lantern light, she whispered, "Wyatt, I don't want to leave." He leaned in slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. Their lips met, soft at first, then deeper, full of all the longing they had held back for days. His arms wrapped around her, strong and protective. Her fingers tangled in his shirt as the world fell away. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a promise. The next morning the world felt different. Softer. Warmer. Wyatt handed Charlotte a cup of coffee, their fingers brushing intentionally now. She smiled, and he felt the kind of happiness he hadn't known in years. But peace didn't last long. By noon, 5 riders appeared at the horizon. Her father's full search party. Charlotte's blood ran cold. "They found me," she whispered. Wyatt stood, jaw clenched. "Get inside. Don't come out." "No," she said, grabbing his arm. "I won't hide any more." The riders approached the ranch with loud hooves and sharper intentions. Her father was among them, red-faced with fury. "Charlotte!" He barked as soon as he saw her. "Get over here. You're coming home." She stepped back instinctively, and Wyatt moved in front of her like a shield. "She ain't goin' nowhere she don't want to go," Wyatt said coolly. Her father glared. "You have no right, Cowboy. She's my daughter." Wyatt didn't flinch. "She's her own person." "You're ruining her life," her father hissed. "Sir," Charlotte said, voice trembling but firm, "you've been controlling my life. I won't marry a man I don't love. And I won't return to a home where my choices don't matter." Her father scoffed. "You're speaking foolishness. This man has filled your head." "This man saved my life," she snapped. "And he respects me more than you ever have." Wyatt's eyes softened, pride shining through. Her father stepped forward angrily. "You will come home, even if I have to drag you." Wyatt moved between them. "You'll touch her over my dead body." A dangerous silence settled. The men behind her father reached for their guns, but so did Wyatt. Before violence could erupt, Charlotte stepped between them, raising her hands. "No guns," she said firmly. "Not for me. Not anymore." She glared at her father. "If you love me at all, let me choose my own life." Her father looked into her eyes, and for the first time, he saw something he had never seen in her before. Strength, pain, courage. Her father's expression cracked. He lowered his hand, defeated. "Fine," he muttered. "If this is truly what you want." Charlotte took Wyatt's hand. Openly, confidently. "It is." Her father turned his horse around, signaling the men to follow. Before leaving, he cast one last look at her. "You're your mother's daughter," he said quietly, then rode away. Tears welled in Charlotte's eyes, but Wyatt pulled her close, steady and warm. "It's over," he whispered into her hair. "You're free." She looked up at him, heart overflowing. "No, Wyatt. I'm not just free." She placed her hand on his chest, feeling the solid beat of his heart. "I'm home." Wyatt kissed her. Deep, fierce, full of every emotion he'd held back. The sun dipped low as they stood wrapped in each other's arms, the wind carrying the smell of cedar and fresh beginnings. Later, they sat on the porch as the stars filled the sky, Charlotte's head resting on his shoulder. "Wyatt," she murmured. "Yeah, darlin'. Why did you fight for me, even when you didn't have to?" He turned to her gently. "Because the moment you showed up on my porch, soaked in rain and courage, I knew your heart was worth protectin'." He brushed her hair back tenderly. "And I chose you long before you ever chose me." Charlotte smiled, a soft, radiant smile that made him forget the world. In that quiet Texas night, their spirits intertwined, 2 lost souls finally finding belonging. And the runaway bride became the woman he vowed to love for the rest of his life. The cowboy who chose to protect her heart had found the one heart that could heal his.